Hey everyone. So I was thinking, so many things I miss about being in the classroom and actually being able to teach you, not through video and Loom and Zoom and whatever all the ooming we're doing, but especially this time of year, because it relates so much to earth science and where the earth science part is to what we see around us. And I'm looking at, right now we're going to talk about the rock cycle. And I have so many samples of things that I've traveled for different reasons throughout the last few years. I've had a chance to, and whether it's within our own state or different places. And I went to Colorado, and one thing I noticed really there was that the rocks were so orange, and they're not orange around here. And obviously in Arizona, they're orange and brown, and it's very different looking. So what I like the idea of you doing is I like to encourage you when you go someplace, even if it's the coast of Maine, if it's Vermont, the mountains look different, whatever it might be, look around you. So here I have for you some examples of the rock cycle from a trip to Costa Rica. So the other day, last week, we talked about weathering, and I showed you my sand collection. So I've got my black sand here from Costa Rica. This is from the Playa Hermosa. And if I open this up here, I can show you, got some shells in it because I collected these shells on that same beach so that they seem to work there. These ones, I thought this shell was kind of cool. It almost looked like a volcano, and that's where, it was volcanoes there. But, so it is definitely black. So the shells are nice because they're from there, and it's also a nice contrast. So I can really see that it is black sand. So this is black sand. We talked about how this was created. This was created because it was near there was a volcano there, and it broke down. The lava hit the cold water, shattered, and then here's the sand. Fun fact, so my husband and son were diving, and I went snorkeling out off the coast to the same exact beach, and we didn't get very far out. I mean, I can say feet out, hundreds of feet if that, and the sand was white. The bottom of the ocean was white. So it's not black all the way out off the coast, only near the coast where the volcanic lava would have gone to get that black. Okay, so how is this related to a rock cycle? Well, this is an example of weathering and erosion. This would be a black rock, the hardened lava rock, weathered into sand. And you say, well, Mrs. Lamb, what does a lava rock look like? Well, wouldn't you know? I have some to show you. So I've got this one here. I'm going to get better lighting so you can see that it's black. So it's kind of on the grayer side, but it's a black rock. And this rock has a cool story. So went to the coast, we got the sand, did some diving, and then went inland because I said if I'm going to Costa Rica, there are active volcanoes there. And the active volcano we went to was Arenal volcano. Now I say active, it means that there's seismological things going on. There's earthquakes. The hot springs are hot, so there's definitely some heat in there. There's nothing coming out of the volcano. I was kind of hoping to see some smoke or something, but I didn't. But one thing I did was there's a hike you could take, a guided hike, to the spot on the volcano that's the site of the 1991 volcanic eruption. So that means that's where I got this rock from. So I had asked the guide, can I take a sample of this? I told him I'm an earth science teacher in New Hampshire, and he's like, absolutely. So this rock, it's a solid, on the table here, it's a solid rock. In 1990, this was inside the Arenal volcano in Costa Rica, and it was magma. And at some point in 1991, it erupted from a side vent, erupted out of the side of the volcano, cooled and hardened, and it is this rock that I'm holding in front of me. So 1991, you think, oh my gosh, that was so long ago. But it really, Earth age speaking, it was not that long ago at all. And the fact that we know for sure this wasn't there in 1990, it was there in 1991, we know exactly how old it is. So this particular rock wouldn't have broken down into the beach rock because they weren't near each other. But this is what would happen. The lava would come out, and as it cooled and hit the water, it would shatter and turn to sand. So this is an example of weathering of an igneous rock formed by magma or lava, igneous rock weathering into small pieces. These pieces could then, at some point, cement together with the shells, they won't in my jar, but in the earth, the cement pieces together and could form a sedimentary rock. I don't have an example of that from Costa Rica, but I do have a sedimentary rock that I found at the beginning of a sedimentary, you might say, in Florida, probably in Clearwater. And the shell stuck to this rock. If I hold them by the shell, you can see it is stuck. So these pieces here, they are cemented. There's a piece here. It's hard. I can see it myself, but hopefully you can see where this shell here, it really is kind of almost like you could say tucked under this piece here. And so over time, this would be in the water, and it would wear away and smooth away, and this would really become a part of it. And so an example of a sedimentary rock. So again, not from Costa Rica, but it's the same process happening here. One last thing I can show you is another piece of weathering. Not really rock cycle, but weathering would be an igneous rock. So these rocks, they're also from the Arenal volcano, and it's maybe harder to see, but they're very, very smooth. And I got these in the hot springs. So hot springs were, if you think about driving northern New Hampshire, Vermont, the rivers that run along the side of the road, it kind of looked like that, these hot springs in Costa Rica. But if you ever stepped in the water in New Hampshire or Maine, hot is not the word I would use to describe it, even in the summer. It's very cold, but these were hot. And so these rocks got smooth. This is probably easier to see. This is rougher looking. So these rocks becoming smooth because they're tumbling in the water. And what a feeling it was to be sitting in this river that was as hot as a hot tub, 110 degrees, and knowing that it was the volcanic activity was making that water hot. How cool is that? Thanks for watching, guys.